again. I'm going to show you how to texture paint the shark. So first thing, whenever we're adding material or textures, we want to unwrap it. So that's like taking the imaginary paper off from the outside and flattening it into a 2D shape that we can then paint on or add an image to. So to do that, I'm going to change to edit mode. I'm going to select all. Shortcut is U, and then I like to do Smart UV Project and hit OK. So you won't see anything happen, but now it's been unwrapped. So you're going to go up into Texture Paint, the tab at the top here, and just gonna check. Okay. So I right now don't have any materials on here. Or textures on here, so I'm going to go over to this side. You should have had this tab pop up, the tool tab, I guess. So you're going to go to where it says no textures, and you're going to add a texture called base color. And then I'm just going to leave all these the same, and I'm going to change my base color to like a light gray kind of color. So that'll be what's going to show up all over the shark. There you go. So we showed up all painted. You might have yours set into shade mode up here. I just had changed mine previously to materials view. But, so now I could go and I could pick different colors to paint on. So I'm just gonna pink. I'm gonna undo that. I'm gonna actually show you how to paint the face of the shark on using an image. So you can use this tool for lots of different things if you wanted to paint an image directly onto your whatever object. So if you go down to this tab, texture, and open it up, there it'll probably look like this because there's nothing there. But if you hit new, it's going to open up that option. However, unfortunately, you can't add the picture right in there for some reason. You have to go to the textures properties, texture properties tab, and then upload your image into there. So I'm going to go open, and I'm going to use the same picture that I used for tracing my shark, which is the shark profile, and it'll show up there. That's fine like that. So now if I go back to the tools and I scroll down, it will show up before where there wasn't anything. Now it's got my shark picture. I want it to be, I'm going to use it as a stencil, which means I'm going to kind of place it where I want to on my shark, and then I'm going to paint over it onto my shark. Oh, before I forget, I'm going to change my color back to a normal color. Not that pink's not normal, but I'm going to go and change this right here, mapping. So right now it says tiled, which means if I were to go and paint over it, it's painting that picture all over in like a tiled pattern. So I'm going to change this to stencil. And then if I bring this over here, you can see it's popped up now, and this is basically your stencil. It's all like squished up though. That's not how the shark was originally shaped. So if I hit image aspect, it'll fix that, and then I've got my actual shape of my image. So now what I can do is I can put my stencil over my shark and paint over it. First of all, I'm just going to get into front view, and then I'm going to right click, so you can see the controls at the bottom here. It says stencil brush control. So I'm going to right click on my stencil, and then I can move it. And it's kind of small. I'm just going to get it sized better. I'm sure there's a better way to do this, but I'm just sizing it how I want it like that. And then I'm just going to do the face of the shark. I'm not going to do the whole thing because all I really wanted to do is just quickly paint on a mouth and eyes. So then you can just start painting. So I've already got my brush set to like a white color, which just is going to paint over it. So if I go like this, and I'm just going to paint over the face. And then if I right click and move my stencil, I have painted a face onto my shark. Oops. It's not letting me move. There we go. So I've painted a face onto my shark. So I can continue painting. You'll notice also it appeared on the other side because I still have my modifier for my mirror on there. So if you didn't do that before, it wouldn't show up on the other side. If you wanted to make it show up on the other side, you could go down to symmetry and then mirror it on whichever axis, but mine was already set up to be mirrored. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna paint kind of like a darker gray color over like the top of the shark to kind of match what the image was like. So I'm just gonna go up. I'm gonna click off this stencil now because I don't want to use my stencil anymore. It was just to get the face on there. And I'm gonna select a color. I'm gonna make it a little darker. So when you're painting, like if you want to paint colors, because you could just paint on an eye, you could paint on scales using different colors. You can change the radius of your paintbrush. You can change the strength, which means it'll kind of change how effective it is. I'm just gonna do that, and then I'm gonna paint. And again, since I have my my modifier on, it's gonna paint the other side as well. I might go a little darker on parts of it. I'm gonna make the fin a little bit darker. So remember to change your views around too, because I was on side view. I'm gonna go to top view now because my top of my shark obviously isn't painted. And if I were to do this all over, I would get the fins and everything, but I want to get just a little bit, so I'm gonna change my radius way down and then just paint like over here. Again, you can see how it's mirrored. Something like that. Okay, it's not perfect, but you get the idea. You can see how I've painted on the shark.